Outstanding governor of the state of Wisconsin, Scott Walker.
Hey, good morning. Great to be at the fair.
What do you love about the Wisconsin State?
Food. I love the food.
I say the same thing.
I love the food. I met my wife at Saz's, so I always get an open-faced pork sandwich and some chive fries. Although I got to tell you, I love eating my way around the fair. One of the new items. My wife is Italian, so she right. You guys perfectly love this. One of the cool little things is I love cranberries. So there's a cranberry cannoli. Isn't it awesome?
It is amazing.
Yeah.
If you haven't tried the cranberry cannoli from our outstanding cranberry growers in Wisconsin, try it. I
really good stuff. Even dipped a little bit on the end with chocolate. It's just great.
I dare say, as an Italian, it's actually better than white. Italians don't hate me.
It's good. So it's one of the many things. There are 80 new food items here. I also love the rides. I go do the rides. I did the Giant Slide 50th anniversary here. You're going to do that later.
Later after the show, yeah.
And I go down with Alice in Dairyland and the Ferris to the Fair every year. And so I did it again on Thursday. I did all the big rides. I did the Freak Out, the Excalibur, all the ones with myself around. The one actually takes me about half an hour to get the blood back out of my head. But I love it.
It's the great, this is one of those signature Wisconsin events. You're everywhere, you do all this stuff. This speaks loudly and clearly about the state that we live in.
It does, because it's from all over the place. I grew up in a small town down in Walworth County. I came here because it was a chance to go to the big city. My wife, Tonette, was born and raised in Milwaukee, so for her, it was a chance to see agriculture, to see the farming. Our kids were born on June 30th and July 31st. Both kids went to the fair the year they were born, and they've never stopped doing since.
And I'm going to bring my grandson out here. He's 2.5. And just to be able to see, we talk about that, right? The kids that live in cities, they don't see these animals.
We'll go through the animals, and everything's clean. It's nice. The kids do a spectacular job. I was at the 4-H kids last night for the meat auction. Tonight I'll be with the livestock auction. Really impressive to see the good work they do.
Governor Scott Walker joining us at the State Fair Studios, the fishbowl as they call. Lots of folks waving at everybody and saying hi. It's one of those, as my colleague Jeff Wagner says, it's one of those Chamber of Commerce things out here.
It's perfect. Like every day in Wisconsin.
That's right.
TravelWisconsin.com. Go see how you can see it every day.
All right, enough of that shilling for your state. Our great state. I got to talk about some serious stuff. You had some comments about the prison system, and I said at the beginning of the show, I agree with you. Letting people out of prison is not a good thing.
No, it is, and here's why. To me, I want to see the prison population go down, but for the right reasons. On the front end, we've given a hat tip to John Nygren, who worked on the HOPE agenda, which is more than just this. It's on dealing with addiction and everything else, but we've given what's called TAB. We give treatment alternatives that we give the judges now. We just increased it in the budget. We increased it again up there. So on the front end, we give judges more opportunities to say, no, you deserve a chance to try something different. You're going to some programming. You're not going to go into prison. On the tail end, years ago, and we've upped it now a couple times, we put more money into our technical college system to provide training in our prisons. Started out with CNC operators, others now the way. So as they get close to the end of their actual sentence, they've got the skills and training to get a job and a career that keeps them out of prison. That'll drop the prison population. But you don't let people out early. You don't let people out just because you said, I want to have half of them out.
Yeah, and as we talk about the violence, and I spent some time on today's show talking about gun violence in Chicago, gun violence in Milwaukee, that doesn't seem to be a recipe for success.
No, and in fact, it's interesting. So there's a myth out there that the prison population, at least some believe, is full of people in for possession of marijuana. That's just not true. 89% are in for serious offenses. Only 11% are in for drug-related offenses. And those are people who are dealers, trafficking others. But out of the total prison population, there's about 2/3 that are in just for violent offenses. So if you're, Tony Evers, Kelda Royce, Kathleen Vino, all are saying they want to cut the prison population in half without some of the things I'm talking about. That lets serious offenders, violent offenders out. But even those that are not classified violent, about 9% are what are called property, or not property crimes, but other crimes that are not violent. That includes firearms offenses. I don't want somebody who is illegally selling a firearm who some judge said, this guy's violent enough, I want him in prison, to be let out early just because somebody thought it was politically popular.
Well, the Democrats have lined up on that issue, and they've also lined up against Foxconn, which you and I both know that's a driver of things well beyond the Foxconn story directly. There's a lot more happening beyond that.
Right. It's not just the 13,000 good-paying jobs. We're talking family-supporting careers right there. It's not just the $10 billion investment. It's not just the 10,000 construction workers from all over the state. The biggest reason why I got behind Foxconn is, to me, I want it to be one more reason to keep our graduates in the state of Wisconsin. Not just for those that work there, but for those who create companies that will work there, for those who be a part of the supply chain there. But in the bigger sense, our millennials, I got kids who are 24 and 25, they get it. That generation understands that Foxconn makes their iPhones. They're going to make LCD panels for the first time outside of Asia. They'll be made in the USA, proudly in the state of Wisconsin. That's the sort of thing that takes us from years ago when we were a brain drain state to a brain gain state. It's something that puts us on the map that will change, just like Microsoft changed the state of Washington to the positive for years.
You said Wisconsin Valley. I think that makes the point clearly. It makes other companies, other industries look at this state in a way they've never looked at it before.
And it's a great corridor because you see from the state line all the way up, whether it was Uline coming years ago, Amazon, great example. We helped them out financially. Their original incentive was to provide 1,250 jobs. They're now up to 4,000. So they're far exceeded what the original proposal was. You see companies like that all over this region and all over the state.
We're joined by Governor Scott Walker at the State Fair studio. After the break, I want to ask you about the sales tax holiday, how that went, and the child tax credit. Was it the best way to deal with that budget surplus? And for all those folks out there who are critics of this governor, I'm not one of them. We went from a budget deficit to a budget surplus, and how great is it that we can hand out or have a sales tax holiday 8 years later?
Amen. Absolutely pleased.
Governor Scott Walker joining us live from the State Fair. More next, right here on WTMJ.